Well, hello, hello, hello. Good evening. This is Sinjin Rasmani. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to my den. Whatever. It's been a while. At least it hasn't been since Christmas Eve. And let me see. Let me reset this. Reset. There we go. Oh, that works better. I haven't. This has been so long, so long, so long. Yeah, Christmas Eve was my last stream, and then I was taking so much time off due to my brother showing up out of the blue, and then just after that, just I don't know, just needed time off. I was so burnt out on everything. I just needed to get away, and then once you take so much time off, sometimes it's hard to come back, especially when you start feeling nervy about everything. But yeah, I'm glad to be back. Happy to be back. And hopefully I'm gonna try to figure out a schedule here soon. But yeah, things have been going. Right now, it seems like in the VTuber world, at least from my perspective, everything seems to be going crazy. You have people attacking people just for saying, I don't, I don't care about your politics, just as long as you're respectful in my chat. It's like, and then people are attacking others for that, and then you have others. It just doesn't make any sense to me. VTuber world is so damn toxic. Makes you not. It's kind of discouraging whenever you see what's going on. I'm just a nobody outsider who who doesn't matter at all, and you just follow all these different people, and then you see all these stupid dramas, all these dumb dramas where people are just trying to destroy other people for no goddamn reason other than to feel more morally superior about others. Just frustrating, frustrating. You see it almost every week, all the time, and now with the election, it's gotten. It seems like it's gotten especially bad. You know, the histrionics and the gatekeepers, and it's just in full swing right now. Anyway, I'm just trying to. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do tonight. I don't think yapping is my thing, but we'll see. I don't know if I really want to play a game though. I was thinking about doing Marvel Rivals, but I've never played Marvel Rivals. And I played Overwatch only a handful of times, and yeah, I never liked that game. So those aren't really my types of games. And we gonna figure out. Maybe I will. I was just thinking about maybe watching some videos. Let's see here. I have absolutely prepared nothing. That's why it's like I don't know what I'm doing. That's the name of everything. Name of the for this stream. I don't know what I'm doing, which is pretty true in general. Let's see here. Okay, where am I? What do I want to do? Ooh, let's see here. Do we want to react to Kentucky Ballistics? His videos are always fun. Or oh, I forgot I'm subscribed to Chibi reviews on my main account. For the VTuber account, I should say. I haven't watched a video of his in years. Slatam is streaming right now. I don't think they'd appreciate me watching their stream live. Ooh, ooh. Oh, wait. Well, and I don't want an hour long video of Slatam. No, that's not very good. That's not a good idea. Here, let's switch over. So my go over here. And boop, boop. Probably should make my model a little smaller. Up, 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 up. Maybe a little bigger. There we go. And let's bring up the browser. Whee! Whee! Let's see if it actually sees it. There we go. I like left hand. I like the supernatural videos. They're always fun. And oh, hope for pause. Oh yeah, if you wanna see dog dog rescues. Red Green TV. That's a TV show. Up, 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 up. Froggy Friends. Curie Sim. I 100% subscribe to Purity Sim just because of her voice. Let's see the 458 Win Mag Battle Rifle. King of all battle rifles? Well, let's see. Let's see. That is. That's a big. Nemo? He found Nemo. That's such a bad thing.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics.
What's up, everybody?
There's
My
a
name's
lot of
Pigeon.
big, awesome battle rifles out there, like the Scar 17, chambered in .308.
Boom, boom, boom.
Or maybe the H-Car, chambered in .30-06.
I don't personally own a gun. I don't have any I don't have any issue with gun ownership at all. Watching it. But I personally don't own any because I have a tendency to be a little careless. Last thing you want to be is careless with a gun. End up shooting myself, cleaning it one day. That would be bad.
Maybe a Nemo Arms 300 Win Mag.
So even when you're armed,
Those are some big battle rifles, and they're big fun.
Kentucky
but I'm looking for a big battle rifle. Now this is a CZ 550 Safari rifle, chambered in .458 Winchester Magnum.
458.
Now that is the kind of power I'm looking for in a battle rifle, and thankfully, Nemo Arms thinks the same way. I present to you what I've been dreaming about for the last 3 years. Well, this and 5 million subscribers. Have you hit the subscribe button yet? Do it! Only 10 times a year, Nemo Arms gives birth to one of the most magical firearms I have ever laid eyes on. This is their Omen, but typically the Omen is chambered in .300 Win Mag, and that is a big round. But this right here is chambered in a flavor I am more accustomed to and absolutely love. .458 Winchester Magnum. You have a 10-round mag, you have M-LOK, Picatinny rails, a 24-inch barrel, semi-automatic .458 goodness. I am so excited about this thing and cannot wait to try it out. So
I'm sure you could do a lot of zombie killing with that. That sounds fun. Look at that scar.
So let's go get started. Well, it's that time of the year again, and everyone has their New Year's resolutions. Whether it comes to eating better, maybe losing some weight, we all have some bad habits we need to stop and some good habits we probably need to start. Well, this year you can give your finances a fresh start by checking out today's sponsor, PDS Debt, for a personalized debt solution. If you're making your payments every month on your debt and your balances aren't going down, well, PDS Debt has a solution for you. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, and there's no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair credit are accepted. I'm getting too old for that. Make this the year you take control of your debt. Get a free debt analysis right now by swinging over to pdsdebt.com/KYB. Again, a big thank you to PDS Debt for sponsoring today's video. If you want to check them out, again, it is pdsdebt.com/KYB, and it only takes 30 seconds. Link in the description down below. Now, let's get back to it.
We are watching these videos, watch his commercial.
Yes, I cheated a little bit, but I'm going to count it.
Really needs to stop hitting that cock.
One of the main advantages to having a big battle rifle is turning cover into concealment. So I have 4 cinder blocks here, and I'm going to put inside each of them a can of meat, beef taco filling to be.
And if you don't know the difference between cover and concealment, concealment means you're still in danger, they just can't see you. But you can still be shot. Cover is you're a little harder to shoot. It's harder to you can't really get through cover. But concealment is not as good.
Be exact. I ate a can of this for breakfast every day. So I got so big and stinky. I'm going to shoot each cinder block with a different battle rifle and see what kind of results we get. But before we do this, I think it's appropriate that we do a mag dump with this 458 Win Mag, don't you think? So for this mag dump, I'm going to be loaded up with 10 rounds of 458 Winchester Magnum 500 grain rounds. And just for some reference, here they are compared to 308, 30-06, and 300 Win Mag. Total, we have 5,000 grains in this mag. That is almost a whole pound of lead. I am so excited right now. I just hope that it actually chambers around.
I wonder how heavy that gun is.
All right, here we go.
Beautiful, right?
Oh, no. You just got jammed.
You just got jammed. He did a video on one of the guns, that was in Dirty Harry.
Semi-automatic
had that little
458 Win Mag. That ain't nothing to shake a stick at.
He did that. God, which was the gun? It was it was a 40, obviously Dirty Harry 45, but it was like, I don't know, it wasn't a revolver. It was an actual pistol. And yeah, you gotta see a lot of that. You just got jammed. You just got jammed. Guess that gun wasn't actually very good.
First up is the Scar 17 with 150 grain 308.
Nice.
Now for the H-Car with 30-06, 150 grain rounds. Woo!
Yeah, there goes those beans.
Nemo Arms Nightmare 300 Win Mag with Underwood ammo, 175 grain rounds. Boy, that's a mouthful. Whoa, and that thing is loud.
Yeah. That's
and last but not least, the Nemo Arms Omen 458 Winchester Magnum with 500 grain rounds.
That's a lot of damage.
smells like the bathroom of Taco John's over here. This is
God.
very messy.
Taco
308
John's.
right here.
Disgusting.
Looks like we just kind of nicked the can. We didn't really do a lot of damage to the can, but we did bust up the cinder block. 30-06. We busted up the cinder block pretty good and actually did quite a bit of damage to our can o meat. 300 Win Mag did quite a bit of damage too. I'm not really sure which can this goes to, but it's pretty busted up. I'm guessing this is 458 Win Mag, and it did noticeably more damage when it hit that block. There was a lot more energy transfer.
Yeah, I don't think FlexTape's going to fix that.
It's not good. And that one, no. But this one didn't get busted. This one's still good.
Don't eat it.
I do this to my knives, so you don't have to do it to yours. Now, how about a snack? Other than it being really cold and hurting my teeth, it was not that bad.
Oh my God, I ate it.
But you didn't know a giant monkey wrench was also good for clearing the dinner table, did you? Well, that's how I know you didn't grow up in Kentucky.
I dated a girl from Kentucky once.
Where's the hole? Oh! Why don't you cooperate with me? Huh? Don't you want to be a big star and be in the video? This is what we have left of our zombie torso from our medieval hand cannon video. This section, not so good, but we still got a lot of life left right here. So up next, we're going to test out some body armor against all 4 battle rifles. I have my personal favorite when it comes to body armor, Premier Body Armor, and this is a Fortis Level 3 Plus plate. This should stop quite a bit, but I'm very curious to see if it will stop the
question is if it's his favorite body armor because you can get it for free, or not. I don't know.
458. There we go. Good enough for me. Scar 17 is up first with 150 grain, 308. Ow!
Did he miss it? I think he missed.
Let's have a little look-see here. There's one good thing about a duct tape plate carrier. You can get it off really quick. We had a hit right there, and it looks like it stopped it. To be 100% honest, I'm not really sure if it's rated for 308. But it ate it, just like I ate that delicious canned meat. Up next is the H-Car 30-06 with 150 grain 30-06. For the record, I'm not sure if it's rated for this.
There we go. Done okay.
Genuinely curious right now. Oh, wow. Okay, well, stopped it. Stopped the 30-06 150 grain full metal jacket. I need to look it up. Not really sure if it's rated for that. It says it's rated up to M193 at 3,250 feet per second. And 762 by 54R. I'm not really sure how close that is to 30-06. I imagine it's similar though. Regardless, it ate that thing. Just to be fair, let's go ahead and use this plate.
You were wearing
it when this could take a few more hits, but let's go ahead and change it out. Nemo Nightmare 300 Win Mag. 175 grain Underwood ammo.
Okay, let's go.
That is just spectacular when it goes off.
You don't like teardrops?
I'm really curious to see if it stopped that one. No new holes.
Nobody wants a new hole.
stopped it. Stopped 300 Win Mag. Now, for the record, that is a very short barrel, and we're losing some velocity. So I would be curious to see if it would stop a 300 Win Mag out of, say, a 24-inch barrel. But if the bad guy has a Nightmare pistol, you're going to be his worst nightmare. Now for the Omen 458 Win Mag with 500 grain 458 Winchester Magnum. Ooh, here we go.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
Yikes.
That looks like that hurt.
Now that is a big fat round, so it may not have made it through, but I definitely would not want to feel that energy in my chest. Let's have a look here.
That could be a heart
it didn't make it through, but you can tell it delivered a lot more energy than the other rounds. That
crack your sternum.
Would not be good on the old rib cage. Oh my gosh, if you look right here, you can see the fibers from the cloth of the body armor just pushed into it, and it split.
Ooh.
Premier Body Armor. Also, nothing to shake a stick at. Oh, my door. Oh.
What does he have with the thing? What's wrong with the thing?
That guy is a horrible driver. Anyways, up next, we are going to shoot through this limo at what's left of our zombie torso and see which battle rifle is better at making it through the vehicle. Now, I want to give you the opportunity to see what it's like to fire these battle rifles. So up next, all four shots, I'll be wearing this GoPro duct taped to my forehead. So now I have what's left of our ballistic dummy lab zombie.
Yeah, if somebody's shooting at you, which hopefully nobody ever does, but if you need to create cover behind a car, do it in front of the engine. Don't do it by the doors. No, not the doors.
Zombie torso set up in a chair on the other side of our limo, and now I'm going to take a few shots with each battle rifle and see which one is better. Also, I have the GoPro now duct taped to my face. Yes, I know it's canted, but that's so you can get the perfect view when I'm shooting. Scar 17.
That's going to hurt to take off.
3 rounds of 308, 20 round mag.
Balls.
Here we go.
Ooh.
All right, let's have a look-see. It appears at least one round made it through, and my goodness, that does not look like it felt good. It did not make it all the way through him. He is missing a pretty big chunk. H-Car, 30-06, 20 round mag with 3 rounds of 30-06, 150 grain rounds. Here we go.
Go. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we definitely have a few holes there in our door, and he has a few holes in him. Yes, we have. Yeah, there's a hit. I believe that's a new hit. We have some exit holes. We even have a hole through the back of our chair. Let's move him over to a different door. Okay, we'll move him right there. The only problem is I can't see him through that glass. You know, this car has seen better days and really needs some work.
The one thing I do enjoy about his videos is all the destruction. It's I don't know, I just get a kick out of it.
But unfortunately, I am not a mechanic. I'm also not a gunsmith. But if you're looking to get your start in firearms technology, you should check out Sonoran Desert Institute. There's a link in the description down below. Nemo, 300 Win Mag Nightmare. And we have a 10-round mag loaded up with 3 rounds of 300 Win Mag.
Look out! Look out! Look out!
So we've moved to a different door. So these are new holes We have 2 holes, and that one actually stopped. It does appear that he has a round stuck in his arm. I'll be able to tell you what it is. Let's get it out.
It's not. You're not committing serious. Oh man, you wouldn't want him to
There we
operate
go.
on you. Definitely not after that. Here, hold this.
That is crazy. So, went through there and then stuck in his shoulder. Nemo Omen 458. Well, oh my gosh! I just noticed that my flashlight is missing the batteries. Check this out. The recoil from this gun, I just noticed this, opened up the back of this Surefire flashlight and dumped the batteries. Tell me your gun has too much recoil without telling me your gun has too much recoil. Anyway, 458 Omen. I believe that's 3 rounds, maybe a few more, in a 10-round mag.
Wee. Man, that's
Okay.
oh, beautiful. Probably really expensive.
Let's go check that out. Yeah, oh yeah. That's the good stuff there.
Why did he do that?
Because now I'm missing an eyebrow. Okay, well, judging from what I'm seeing leaking on the ground, my scientific opinion is that a 458 Win Mag battle rifle is indeed a little better at blowing through cover. We got big hole there. We have multiple holes out the back here and out the back of this chair. And he appears to have several big chunks of himself missing. So if a zombie was hiding behind a limo or a car during the zombie apocalypse, I think you're going to be set with a 458 Win Mag battle rifle.
Like I said,
well, that is going to be it for today's video. I had a lot of fun with the Omen 458 Win Mag. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. If you did indeed enjoy today's video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, make sure
also, be sure to check me out on all other social media platforms. Links to those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to pick up a shirt.
Okay.
Got a little tongue-tied there. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.
Poor guy. Alright, let's see here. Get back to the feed. Where's the feed? Oh, okay, no, that's like, and so that was like, I haven't watched this video. What? No, that's him showing a video. Boop, boop, boop. What do we want to watch now? Let's see, what could Scholagram need? Lady Random. Go subscribe to her. She could really use it.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to listen to the ramblings of an eccentric, bumbling fool. First off, don't worry, this is not a matter of life or death. It's not like I need money for crucial surgery or anything like that. There is a surgery that I'm pretty sure I need, but healthcare would cover that. However, I could use your help.
He is a Canadian, after all.
In a number of ways. One being, I need you to tell me what you want. What I mean? Well, you would think after doing this for 16 years, I've got a handle on how this YouTube thing works. You'd think so. Reasonable assumption, right? But the kind of video and topic that used to get at least 100,000 views, often more, now tends to be stuck at 20, 30, 40, something like that, which is still a lot, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of people watching my stuff. And there are plenty of small channels that would be ecstatic to get those numbers.
Yeah, I'd be ecstatic. Let's see. I don't want to look at some of the numbers on my shorts. Oh, actually on YouTube, my shorts actually do. For me, and for my size, for my importance in all the world. Actually, I think does very well.
I'm well aware of that. But as we're kind of indoctrinated into this idea of perpetual growth, like if this was where I peaked, then I'd be happy, and if it was still slowly going up, but that used to be way higher, and now it keeps going down and down and down and down and down. It makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. It makes you feel like no matter what you do, no matter what improvements you try to make, looking at my own work, I do think it's gotten a lot better. Like the editing has gotten way better. Maybe not in this video in particular, but overall, I'm putting way more effort into things for, a much worse result.
Maybe we should watch this video, because if we're going to watch it, don't really need to react to him that way. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Actually, no. Let's see. I prefer... Where are they? Ojo-sama. Oh, yeah, Ojo-sama. Here, let's bring up the Ojo-sama. Where was that? Right. Okay. This was for pause. Where was that again? Oh, there it is. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's all that channel is. Here is.
単純にいらない。踊るサンタの人形。全部いらなかった。
Boop, boop. Let's see here. Let's see another one. Oh! I don't know why I subscribed to this channel, but it's funny. There we go. Nuke's top 5. Let's do him. Not one that's an hour. Maybe a shorter one? Maybe his videos are a little too long. Maybe we'll have to go with him. I like Nuke, but one of the problems with Nuke is his thumbnails have a tendency to be a little bit clickbaity. Ooh, see what I mean there? You're probably not going to see the pictures, but you probably won't see anything like this in the actual video. But let's see here. This one, I actually watched this one. That kinda, you don't see the face, but there was the hand. I haven't seen this one. Let's see here. What's going on, dude? What's going on?
The Ritual and the Wardrobe. Paolo and Debbie from the popular Italian YouTube channel Pit Paranormal Investigation Team attempt a ghost summoning in an old house. Allegedly, if done correctly, this ritual is said to summon any supernatural entity residing in a home. The summoning requires one person to sit inside a closed space, like a wardrobe, in the dark, with nothing but a few matches for light.
Give me a break. It sounds a bit like the whole, go into your, look into a mirror. What is it? Turn out the lights, looking into a mirror with the lights off, and saying like Bloody Mary like 5 times or something like that. Yeah, something like that. I remember that. Okay, let's go.
If the summoner hears anything abnormal, they light a match immediately and chant the sentence, quote, "Show me the light or leave me in eternal darkness." So, Somehow, Paolo convinces his girlfriend Debbie to attempt a strange ritual inside a small, cramped wardrobe in the old house. It did not go well.
Paul,
Poi?
credo che ci sia qualcosa qua nell'armadio con me.
Vuol dire che funziona.
Prossima volta devo prendere dei fiammiferi un pochino più lunghi. Sei qua?
Sei qua?
Paolo,
Oh,
mi sembra che stia grattando la parete.
grattando.
Te lo giuro, ho sentito...
Tu ti rendi conto che io non sento niente di qua?
Why are we gonna do something scary? Okay.
Senti?
No, ora lo sento forse.
Paolo,
Oh,
sta grattando.
ok. Hai sempre il fiammifero acceso.
Sto continuando ad accenderne, durano pochissimo.
Is he gonna have one? I wonder, is he gonna have one of his moments where, did you see it? No, I didn't fucking see it.
Secondo te cosa vuole? Cosa farà?
Questo non lo so, sono curioso.
I was gonna say, why would you do this to your girlfriend? But then again, I had a girlfriend who was afraid of heights, and I convinced her to go. You know, one of those rides where it takes you all the. Basically, it's just a tower where you sit in this open thing, and then pulls you up, and then just drops you. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. She did it. She was a brave little trooper, but at the end, she was crying. I felt so bad. I'm so bad. Okay. Wait, open the door!
Ti prego, apri! Prego, apri! Ti prego, apri! Ti prego, apri!
Devi accendere la luce, devi accendere la luce. Accendi la luce, chiudi la mano,
What a great. I don't want to touch anything. You do it.
Te lo do i fiammiferi.
Ah, ok.
Oh my god. Dude, you're recording and put it on the internet. You should have at least manned up and closed the fucking door. Jeez.
Quindi,
Paolo?
cosa è successo?
Allora-
Ti ho sentito urlare praticamente 2 volte.
Allora, la prima volta mi sono spaventata perché mi ha alitato nell'orecchio.
Ok.
Ok? E ho sbattuto la mano dallo spavento. Guarda, mi sta venendo un livido. Guarda,
Ma veramente, guarda che roba.
mi sta venendo un livido alla mano, raga.
Non lo vedono, guarda.
Cioè,
Così si
non
vede.
sto scherzando, mi sono fatta veramente male. Cioè, non lo vedete, ma
Sì,
Wow.
sì, sì.
tutto qua. Che mi sta... Guardate. Mi sono
Che cosa?
fatta malissimo. Veramente
Could have happened
malissimo.
when she jerked it. Could have hit something.
E poi
Mi
perché
sono fatta
adesso hai
veramente
urlato?
male. Perché mi sono sentita qualcosa che mi toccava la spalla. Che mi toccava la
Non
spalla.
posso riaprirlo perché...
Mi toccava la spalla. E adesso?
No, adesso va via.
Ah,
Cioè, c'è scritto quello.
mi toccava la spalla. È un profumo.
Ah, ecco.
Hai ragione.
Io ho sentito una vampata di profumo, poi mi hai detto che erano i fiammiferi. Ma io ho sentito un profumo.
Non l'avevo sentito prima.
E poi un profumo.
Beh, comunque, no,
No.
te lo giuro. Mi ha toccato la spalla. Qualcosa mi ha toccato la spalla.
Something touched your
E mi sono
shoulder.
fatta male.
Devo andare a mettere del ghiaccio.
Mi sono spaventata.
Debbie starts to freak out, and she feels like someone might be inside the wardrobe with her. Then suddenly a hand grabs her shoulder.
Exactly.
In a panic, Debbie flees the small wardrobe and ends the summoning. So could it be that this cryptic ritual
Why-
brought out a dark supernatural entity? Let me know down in the comments. Run. Japanese paranormal investigation.
I'm surprised he didn't do that. Oh, did you see it? Did you Did you see it? Oh well, yeah, maybe he'll do it later.
Investigator Takeuchi from the YouTube channel Takeuchi Camera travels to the old abandoned Shiriwa village in Japan. The village is now a ghost town. It has been completely abandoned for over 28 years. Centuries-old graves of former residents can be found hidden away between the decaying homes. Locals like to say that these days, the only residents of Shiriwa village are the dead. In the dark of night, Takeuchi begins to hear unnerving sounds.
Yeah, the population collapse in Japan is kind of sad. I mean, here the villages are completely being depopulated over there because they're just not having kids. Everybody's virgins.
Coming from all around him as he explores. He starts to get a little freaked out and decides to take out his thermal camera to get a better look at what could be hiding in the dark. What he sees shocks him to his core.
めっちゃ周りからバチバチ音聞こえるから気づかれたやつやけど。よし。ほらほらほらほらほらほらほらほら。なんか来てるなんか来てる。ちょっと待ってちょっと待って。なんかおるなんかおる。
I watched it.
ほらなんかおるなんかおる。マジ。ほらマジマジマジマジマジマジマジ。ほらなんかおるなんかおるなんかおるなんかおるなんかおるって。
Here's something a lot of people don't know, and I only know this because I have trained as a firefighter, and one of the things firefighters use is the heat thing that I can't remember. Why can't I remember? Infrared? Not infrared. Anyway, but yeah, basically heat that goes basically showing heat. The thing is, it looks like he has it pointed at a window. Those things can't see through windows. So whenever you see a video where somebody's doing weird things, when they're using their heat thingy, why can't I remember what they're called? They're not actually really seeing anything because they can't see through the window.
ほらちょっと待って近づいてみようか疲れたまだおるまだおるまだおるよしほらおるから完全におるなんか
No, it's not.
マジマジ完全におる
It's kind of
よしよしよし今はいチーズちょっと待って
But the only reason why I bring it up because I did watch one video on Nuke's Top 5 where this guy was recording a video using the heat vision, and it was showing stuff going on in a window, and obviously whatever was going on with it, it wasn't because there was something in the building, because it wouldn't be able to see through the glass. Yes.
いけた取れたか取れたかあれちょっと待って何も映ってない
Shit, there's nothing on the photo. You didn't have no.
明らかにおるなんかおるマジでおるマジでおるマジでおるマジでおるマジでおる何してんの何してんのはどういうこと何してんのはマジでおるなんか
There could be something
なんかおるよ
because it just catches heat. Oh, well, it could just be weird airflow, but airplanes don't have arms.
The thermal camera captures a heat pattern that resembles a human shape. But when Takeuchi looks around with his own naked eye, he can't see anyone. Suddenly the figure charges toward Takeuchi, and in a panic, the investigator runs for his life. And with this, Takeuchi has had enough and just leaves.
You know, the funny thing about that wouldn't actually be that hard to fake.
So could this be the angry spirit of a villager who passed away in the old abandoned Shiriwa village?
Check. Did he actually move that camera, or did it just sit there the whole time? I don't think he ever moved it. It's probably just recorded. Yeah, I don't think he ever moved it.
YouTube channel, Takeuchi Camera. If you found a great ghost video online or recorded one yourself, please send it my way at nukestop5@gmail.com. Slipping through the trees. A little while ago,
Although, I wish I would have recorded it, but there was this, and I could have sent this in. It's not scary, but it would have been interesting. Like, there was this one morning, it was around this time of year because it was dark in the morning. Like I do, like when I head into work. I usually head into work around 7 o'clock in the morning. And so during this time of year, it's still dark. So, and I live right off the coast and where I am. So it doesn't really take me all that long to get down to basically where the beach is. And when I drive into work, it's along the beach area, where the shore area, I should say, not the beach. But when I was driving down one of the roads that was headed to the shore and where I'd take my turn, it wasn't complete dark, but it was still, dark. But you could see out things, but you didn't see enough. Anyway, I was looking out over the water and I saw this light moving. But the funny thing about it was, I saw a wake going behind it, but I saw no boat underneath the light. And it just kept moving and moving and moving and moving. So it was interesting. It was like, what the hell? What the hell is that? Because if I didn't see the boat, I mean, it wasn't so dark that I couldn't see the wake behind it, because I could see the wake in the water from the movement. So, like, if there was a boat there, why couldn't I see the boat? That's the only time I've ever seen anything like that. It was interesting.
I featured the creepy story of Lauren Combs, who over the course of a year captured multiple mysterious unexplained events in her home in Waco, Texas.
Did you do that?
I think I've seen some of her videos. Captain, my captain.
Oh my God.
Now, since these terrifying events, Lauren has installed a new security camera in her backyard, because eerily, a lot of the strange activity at her home seems to take place in the wooded area just behind her house. So late one night, Lauren is hanging out and casually playing some Call of Duty with her roommate, when their dogs begin to totally freak out for no apparent reason.
My dogs freak out all the time for no reason. So, yeah. They would never alert me of something, because I never believe them when they freak out.
What happens next is all caught on camera.
Move!
The dogs all seem freaked out by something that is going on outside the house. So Lauren checks her outside security cameras and sees something that chills her to her core.
That's interesting. There are a lot of weirdos out there that like to screw with people, especially out in the woods.
Someone or something can be seen quickly pacing or maybe even running back and forth along the tree line in Lauren's backyard.
Does look like
Lauren has no idea who or what this could be and is extremely disturbed by the whole experience, especially after everything else that has happened in the past. So just what do you think is going on here? And what is this? The Flyby. This next video was recorded by pilot Cesar Murillo Perez.
What it probably is, she probably has a homeless person out in the woods somewhere, and most homeless people have mental illness problems or drug problems. So, yeah, that probably I mean, honestly, people are more scary than ghosts.
Perez, who was flying an Airbus A320 passenger jet at 29,000 feet in the sky above Medellin, Colombia. He suddenly spots something very unusual. He grabs his phone and starts to record.
Okay, what are we supposed to be seeing here? Oh.
An unknown dark round object can be seen flying above the clouds at 29,000 feet. The pilot says that he has no idea what this object could be, and the footage still remains a mystery. So, let me know your theories and ideas on just what
it's a Chinese spy balloon. Chinese spy balloon.
Thank you so much for watching. As I say again and again, my upload schedule is crazy all over the place. So please subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll always know immediately when a new video is posted. And you can also follow me on the Instagram there, and on the Twitter there, and on the TikTok. Click on one of these links for more scary videos, and hopefully I'll see you back here again next.
Alright, what do you want to do next? Oh, Bardic Broadcast. This video, excuse me, he does not post very often. But they're fun videos. And like his Hero Quest. Let's see here. How many videos does he have? Last one was a year ago. So supposedly Hero Quest is supposed to come back. And I think that's what that one video was saying. My Hero Quest. Oh yeah, I think this is the one. Here we go. Let's do the Hero Quest. My Hero Quest is
Hero Quest is the best game ever made, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong. The best thing about Hero Quest is the miniatures, made in the glory days before Games Workshop had been destroyed from within. There is not an inch of pretentious overcomplexity about them. Any man can tell what they are from 500 yards away, and I know this because I've tested it with a team of Russian ex-Soviet scientists. Because they weren't destroyed by idiotic oversculpting, many a young lad got their start in miniature painting, making their first delicate steps with these fine figures. Never mind that one. I ruined that one. Never mind any of that. The best thing about Hero Quest is the gargoyle. It is the finest miniature...
There, let's go back.
Never mind that one.
Nope, didn't go back far enough. There we go.
Steps with these fine figures. Never mind that one. I ruined that one. Never mind any of that. The best thing about Hero Quest is the gargoyle. It is the finest miniature in the land. Compared to this is rubbish. This is brilliant. This is an abomination. This is a gargoyle. When a young lad saw this miniature, do you know what he said? He said, "Ooh, I've got to get in on that Hero Quest action." And he was right. The best thing about Hero Quest is this tiny furniture. It is...
That took forever to set up. But yeah, unfortunately, me, my friends, and my brothers, we never actually got past the first dungeon because nobody ever wanted to play. We couldn't get anybody together to play it. It was kind of lame. I mean, I was always stuck as DM. That was one thing as a kid. I always stuck doing things with the DM, and I always wanted to play characters. So when I got a gaming group later in life, I was so happy to just be a player. Don't have to
is
control
unequaled in all the realm. Anyone who owns this furniture but doesn't use it every chance they get, even in unrelated games, is a fool. I myself have begun replacing all of my furniture with HeroQuest furniture. Even the doors. Oh, Mormons! The best thing about HeroQuest is the cards. What you see before you is the exact optimum number of cards required to play a heroic adventure game. No more, no less. Why, just the other month I was playing in the local international poker tournament, and when it came time to reveal my hand, bam, heroic brew, and I took home all the winnings, because after all, who's going to argue? The best thing about HeroQuest...
Yeah, nobody knows how the heroic brew stacks up to an ace, king, or queen.
...is the board. Look at its beautiful, vibrant colors, and its perfect square-ish shape. Oh, yes. There was never any doubt as to how much space a game of HeroQuest was going to take up, was there? No, sir. But what do modern games give us? Oh, they're obsessed with modular dungeon tiles, and that's terrible.
I do have one of those Dungeons and Dragons modular games. I played it once. It was not bad, but not great. I mean, they made it so that you don't need a DM, so it's kind of like it plays like a randomly generated game because that's what it is. Like it's like a video game that just randomly generates. So, it was
Half the time it's a complete disaster as the dungeon immediately veers off the nearest table edge. The other half the time it expands into a colossal labyrinth far larger than any reasonable table owned by mortal men. Play it on the floor, you might say. Well, what about people with back, neck, and face problems? Ah, you didn't think of that, did you? The best thing about HeroQuest is the quest book, jam-packed with cracking sword and sorcery scenarios, each more different than the last, and none more different than the dreaded blank map, which is used to make your own deadly scenarios. Of course, the only natural response to this is to put a monster in every square, as is the right and privilege of every HeroQuest owner. The best thing about HeroQuest is the box art. Look at it. Magnificent. Painted by the great fantasy illustrator, Les Edwards. And
I did use this game once when I ran this game for one of my brother's kids and some of their friends. Oh man, I mean, they did not do well. They wiped in the first instance because they didn't cooperate. So they basically all went one at a time into a room by themselves in different areas, and they all got mobbed and died.
And it features grand prominence in this particular art book of the man, and well it should, for it is, without doubt, the best piece of art he ever produced. Now, in the 90s, he did argue against that point, but he was quickly shouted down by key luminaries of the era, such as Prince, Bob Hawke, and Reggie Bennett. So it turns out that this was a cracking reboxing all along. But is a single reboxing enough to cover the grand majesty of HeroQuest? No, sir. No, it is not. And that means it's time for another cracking unboxing of HeroQuest. Let's get started. Well, the best thing about HeroQuest is the inside of the box. Look at these cracking instructions for heroic miniature assembly. What with their clear pictures and words, by God. When I was a lad assembling these miniatures, I would have terrible nightmares about an apocalyptic time when highly convoluted miniatures, much more so than this, would come with instructions without words at all, and terrible, grainy little pictures, and only the loosest interpretation of the word instructions. Oh, it's a good thing
and
I
written
never
in
came
China.
to class.
For someone who doesn't speak English.
The best thing about HeroQuest is this cracking screen. Not only is it covered with blistering artwork, it is also the finest perch in all the land from which to drop falling rocks on unsuspecting fools in unrelated games. It also prominently features the gargoyle. You can't even tell what this is. This is a gargoyle. The best thing about HeroQuest is the broadsword.
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 Fire of Wrath.
The best thing about HeroQuest is rolling to move, and you might roll your eyes at this, but it really adds to the drama. Will I trip on a flagstone or leap heroically into battle? Let's find out. Well, the best thing about HeroQuest is ignoring the roll to move rule. It was clearly only included for the junior set, more used to playing snakes and ladders, and not really intended for true masters of the game. The best thing about HeroQuest is the combat dice. No finer set of dice have ever been made in any kingdom. These dice also represent the essential binary which encapsulates all evil beasts in this game. The monsters are either dead or alive. And the symbol of evil looks like a bunny rabbit if you turn it upside down. And that's why you'll hear veterans call them the bunny rabbit dice. Adorable bunny, symbol of immortal evil. The best thing about HeroQuest is the barbarian. Look at the muscularity. You are the barbarian, the greatest warrior of all. And they're not kidding, he throws 3 combat dice on attack by default. Not even the gargoyle can stand up to that. And that's without needing to get the broadsword.
Broadsword.
A barbarian, best character in the game by a long shot, and you should all go play as him immediately. Right, now that the peasantry have gone, the best thing about HeroQuest is the dwarf. Ah, yes, the barbarian, strictly for beginners. He is, in fact, easy mode. True aficionados of HeroQuest and masters of the game choose the dwarf.
The dwarf?
The best thing about HeroQuest is the expansions, which you should immediately discard, because the only true way to expand HeroQuest is with more HeroQuest. It's the only way you can experience such cracking custom scenarios as the dreaded Fortress O' Peril and Gravity Land. And that's why HeroQuest is so great.
Yay. Let's see here. What do we want to do now? Let's see. Embrace Halberd's superiority, huh? Boo-boo-boo. The extending rapier, the rapier, the flamberge. Certain weapons developments inevitable? Let's see. Best swords for beginners. Well, let's see what the best swords are for beginners.
Some folks have very strong opinions on which is the best sword. Others have diverse interests and find something to like about pretty much any sword. Either way, the question, which is the best XYZ, is awfully reductionist. You can make it a little bit more useful by specifying which is the best XYZ for.
If you're talking duel, the best sword is the rapier. It has the most reach, and it's also the quickest. If you're gonna stab someone with it if they don't have a rapier with them, and it's a bit like, how should I say it? I don't know. It's just, even against katanas, a longsword. I mean, you're gonna stick them. The only problem with because it's such a thin blade, you'll stick them, but they may still be able to get you back in return.
Or ABC purpose. So today I want to make a few suggestions that I think would be good choices, maybe even the best, for specific scenarios when you're starting out in practicing historical martial arts, historical European martial arts in particular.
I do need to take that up. I got a friend. I one time went to a con where they had a demonstration and actually taught some basic stuff of historical European martial arts. And obviously, I live in a small area now. Finding a place to do combat is not that easy. But I really want to start doing it.
Not just because that's what I know the most about, but also because there is such an overwhelming variety. Okay, enough preamble. Let's get into it. We're just starting out. You're a fresh newbie. There's so many things to consider. So I'm going to give you a few suggestions.
The thing is, when you look at the history of swords like in Europe, and it's even true of places like China, India, the Middle East, They have because the sword evolved throughout all those areas, and then you have Japan, which was isolated, and once they created the katana, it just kind of stayed the katana, and not because it's the perfect weapon. It's just they just were geographically isolated from everybody, so they were just fighting each other, and the katana was good enough. And swords were always just sidearms anyway. Swords aren't actually all that good against armor.
Specific scenarios. So first off, availability. If there is a HEMA school in your area or within reasonable driving distance, chances are they're not going to teach every single sword, but they're almost guaranteed to teach longsword. It's the most popular, and there are plenty of good things to say about it. It's reasonably beginner friendly, it's highly technical, but people may find it a little bit easier than some single-handed swords. Not simpler, it's more complicated because you're using the other hand and there's a wide variety of techniques, but less physically demanding potentially. Obviously, strength and fitness is always useful. It's a martial art after all, but they typically require a bit less grip and forearm strength than many other swords, particularly rapier. And of course, longsword is fun, but we're talking historical martial arts. It's all fun. But I wouldn't say it's the best choice for beginners for two reasons. One, cost. The sword itself is going to cost you more. If you're going with a synthetic, it's not as bad, but still a certain amount of cost. But the gear is pretty expensive. You need a sturdy fencing mask. You need the best, most protective gloves or gauntlets you can get. You need a fencing jacket, etc. It all adds up quite a bit. And the second downside is the reason why you need so much protective gear.
Yeah, because usually, especially the gloves, people hit each other's fingers all the time. So, yeah, you don't want to do any of this without wearing some protective equipment, unless you want to have some broken fingers.
The injury risk is higher. That only applies if you spar, and especially if you want to participate in tournaments. That's where the injury risk is highest. If you're doing technique drills and light sparring, perhaps it's not that big of a deal. In general, the injury risk in HEMA is not as high as you may think. If you look at a variety of different sports, they all have certain injury rates, particularly things like rugby or American football. So considering that you're getting hit with swords, the injury risk is not that high. But as I said, with longsword, a little bit more broken fingers and such can happen, particularly if you don't have the best gauntlets. What about the opposite end? The cheapest option to start with, so affordable that you can't shake a stick at the price. Single stick. This is awfully long for a single stick, but it's the same material, rattan. They're cheap, easy to replace, easy to use. The only problem is, at that point, you're not really practicing sword fighting, you're practicing stick fighting, which carries over to an extent, things like footwork and timing and measure and strikes and parries and all of that. Yeah, and a lot of people enjoy single stick sparring because it's fast and dynamic, but at the same time, it doesn't require that much protective gear. Fencing mask, gloves, that's it pretty much. Joint protection, I would recommend, but as I said, it's not quite swords. It doesn't have the feel of a sword. Edge alignment is not a thing. You can't practice that, and you can't do a lot of things like thrusts, for example. You can't really do with these. A better option, in my opinion, and if I had to pick just one best choice for beginners, as reductionist as it is, I'd say Dusak. Why? For one, affordability. Again, if you're going with a nylon Dusak, they're like 30 to 40 bucks.
Dusak is
pretty cheap. If you get the leather one, which has some advantages, I'll mention that in a moment, it's around $100, which again is not that bad. Definitely less than other swords. And again, you don't need much protective gear. With the leather version in particular, same as single stick. You need a mask, gloves, joint protection, elbow and knee guards. That's it. Oh, a cup. Do not ever spar without a cup. Really, the main reason to wear groin protection is so that you don't get hit in the groin. The one day you forget to put it on, that's where you're going to get hit. Nylon practice swords are the most affordable. They're easier to start.
I played football in high school. I never worked up, never got hit in the balls, so maybe it was just lucky.
With because they're lighter than steel, so as your muscles get used to the new movement patterns, it's going to take less of a toll on you. You can focus more on technique itself, and they're very durable, pretty much impossible to break. So there are plenty of good things about them, but these days I much prefer practicing with steel, mainly because these are awfully slippery. You know, if you think about sharp edges would stick and bind, whereas these they slip and slide all over the place. There are some that are made with a serrated shape to bite a little bit, which is, you know, artificial, of course, because it's not quite the same as a sharp or even blunt steel blade for that matter. Blunts obviously don't bind as much as sharps either, but a little bit more so. But also, of course, they handle a little bit differently. They just don't feel quite the same, and there may be some artifacts and some bad habits that you may develop from practicing with them potentially. And some of them are not safe for thrusting. Like this one here is so rigid, I would not suggest using thrust in sparring. But if you're the experimental type and like to try out unusual...
And you can thrust with a metal longsword? I don't think so.
Usual things. There are so many different synthetic practice swords. I mean, you can even get a Khopesh and plenty others that you don't normally see, and for cheap too. Back to the Dusak. I like the leather-wrapped ones in particular because they don't have the problem of slipperiness that synthetics have. The leather actually has some friction, and it will bind a little bit. It does stick a little bit more than synthetics do, and also it cushions the blow more as well. So, as I said, you really don't need much protective gear with this. With some of the hard synthetic ones, you might need a little bit more. These here, no problem at all. And there's a guard. Of course, your hand can still be hit from the sides, but the knuckle guard in front is nice to have. So these are great. You know, if you don't want to spend that much, there's definitely plenty to be said about it. Thrusts still are not good with these in sparring. Like, yes, it's got this floppy tip here, but that's not really going to do anything to keep you safe. If you take a powerful thrust with that, with minimal protective gear, not safe. So you are limited to cuts. There is something good in that for beginners, just in the sense that you can focus on one thing. I mean, at first you're going to be focusing on footwork. You're going to be doing footwork drills until you're sick and tired of it, because that's the foundation. Without a solid foundation, you're not really going to be able to do much.
You need fighting historical, Japanese, Chinese, European, whatever. Yeah, that's the first thing you always do, footwork. So you can maintain balance.
The sword swinging, because everything else falls apart. But if you're in the beginning, focus on just cuts, just the basic cuts, just the old diagonal, and the defense against that, for both sides, you practice that first, and then you can add more different angles. So you can, add the rising cuts and horizontals, and then eventually you get to the fancier stuff, and it gets more fun from there. By the way, the Dusak may look weird, but it's the historical training analog to this. If you know how to use this, you know how to use that. You can say that to an extent about Dusak and Messer too. A lot of techniques carry over from one to the other. There's some overlap, although there are also things that are different. Like there are some techniques with the Messer that rely on...
One thing I've noticed, because I'm no expert, honestly, I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I have taken both judo and karate, and one thing you definitely notice when you look at this kind of stuff is even hand stuff, grapple, because even historical martial arts, even sword fighting has grappling in it. But even the way you move your hands to block incoming, punches and whatnot, it definitely has a certain amount of overlap with fighting with swords and whatnot. So there's a lot of overlap with all of it. It's just there's similarities, but obviously they're not. You're not going to learn the box and then pick up a sword and
the Naga, which again you might be able to do with this, not with the leather wrap type, but there are synthetic Dusaks that have this too. Paulo Sectormeyer, for example, shows a Dusak with such a guard that could be used in the same way as a Messer. The only reason why I would recommend a Dusak over a Messer for beginners, you can absolutely start out with either, but really the only reason is these here. The leather wrapped ones, they're quite useful. They're much cheaper than a steel Messer. If you want to do Messer, I would definitely recommend steel over nylon, but again, it's a matter of affordability and protective gear. One of the reasons to start out with a single-handed sword is it keeps things a little bit simpler, just because you're only focusing on one hand. The other hand just stays out of the way. In fact, usually, said you put it on your back or on your hip, it's not even in the game. There are grappling techniques, of course, but you're not really going to do that in the beginning. So you can just focus on one hand, and depending on what exactly you're practicing with, the footwork may also be simpler. I'll get back to that in a moment. So the reason why I recommend Dusak or Messer over arming sword, which is also single-handed, so same benefits, right, is that the main manuscripts for arming sword teach you arming sword and buckler. So your other hand is doing something. And in fact, it's more complicated than longsword because your two hands need to move more independently of one another. On a longsword, you use the other hand, but they're moving as a unit. Whereas sword and buckler, they are much more independent. Well, to an extent. There are plenty of techniques where you keep the buckler together with your sword hand, but there's still a little bit more to coordinate, and sword and buckler is highly technical. Longsword is too, but I would say sword and buckler might be even more technically challenging, and it's also more difficult because, as I said, using a single-handed sword is a little bit more challenging for things like edge alignment and all that. On top of my head, I can't think of any manuscripts that teach the use of an arming sword with nothing in the offhand. There are manuscripts that describe the use of a single sword with nothing in the offhand, but usually that's rapier or side sword or basket hilt. Speaking of which, if you have a bigger budget to work with, it doesn't get much better than Highland broadsword. Basket hilts are fantastic for obvious reasons. You don't even really need a glove here. I mean, a glove like this is still good, but you don't actually need a heavy protective gauntlet. And the other hand, again, stays out of the way for the most part, unless you're grappling. So you don't need as much protective gear in that way. And there are also certain techniques that you don't even need to consider. With other swords, there are additional challenges in that you need to keep your hand safe. There are certain things that you can or cannot do. With this, really not much of a concern. You can still be hit in the wrist or in the forearm, but there are just so many ways the hand can be threatened with other swords that is just completely negated with this. And particularly if you're practicing regimental Highland broadsword, the footwork is simpler too, because it's linear. It's meant to be used in formation with someone behind you, left and right. So there's not going to be circular movement. There's not going to be passing steps. You don't have to think about which foot is forward. If you're right-handed, your right foot is forward. That's it. Whereas with other swords, beginners often get confused about which foot is forward. Unfortunately, the answer is it depends. It depends on what you're doing. If you're practicing regimental broadsword or in fact military saber, it might be simpler in that regard. But maybe you don't want simple. If you appreciate highly technical fencing, rapier is your game. But I wouldn't call it beginner-friendly exactly. For one, because the cost of entry is higher. When it comes to the sword, you need less protective gear, but the sword itself is going to cost more. And if you have any kind of physical restrictions, like, for example, you have limited mobility in your arm, or you have lower grip and forearm strength, that's not really a good option. It may not seem so bad at first, but after an hour or two of technique drills and sparring.
One thing people don't really know is that a rapier will weigh just as much as a longsword. It has the same amount of steel, it's just longer. It's just stretched out more.
Your forearm and wrist and hand is going to be toast. So if you have any such limitations, small sword is where it's at, in my opinion. Again, it's highly technical, but it's not physically demanding. I mean, again, it's a martial art. Physical fitness is always involved to some extent, at least if you're sparring. If you're doing technique, you can absolutely practice that without exerting yourself enormously. It's more about manual dexterity and speed and all that. Of course, it's going to be a lower body workout, always is. Like with any sword, really, you're going to feel it mostly in your legs in the beginning, especially. Overall, you don't need as much strength for small sword as you do for rapier or other single-handed swords. So that's definitely a good option. And small swords tend to be a little bit cheaper than rapiers as well. And again, they require minimal protective gear. And also the injury risk is much lower. Now, a rapier thrust with protective gear is not really a problem either. I would recommend a fencing jacket. There are cuts with rapiers, and even though it's a narrow blade, sometimes they do pack a bit of a punch, and that's about it. There are other options, of course, and again, you choose what you're most interested in and also what's available. That should about cover it. This is probably pretty long, but I hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching, and take care, folks. Stay safe.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get a sword and smack each other around. Track planner. This stuff is kind of fun sometimes, too. Let's see here. Do we have a short one? What they discovered high above the ground will leave you speechless. Oh, let's see. I haven't been watching anything.
Today started off really quiet. I went for a drive to scout out some new places. While driving to one of those places, I saw a very small cave in the distance, about 350 feet up from where I was. So I flew the drone just to see what was there. But then I saw something that changed the rest of the day. Wow, so talk about starting off this new year with a bang. So I had to pull over because
I'd rather start the new year with a bang, if you know what I mean.
So many thoughts running through my head. I scouted off this new area. I was doing like a survey, just kind of, flying the drone and stuff. And I saw like this cave high up there, like this little black little line. I'm going to go fly my drone. Sometimes I'm lucky with that stuff, sometimes I'm not. I'm so glad I did on this one. So what was hiding up here? Well, you're not
Yeah, my favorite New Year's Eve memory is something I can't even talk about.
gonna believe it. As I was flying closer with the drone, I realized there's some markings above this cave. I didn't notice them at first, but you can see the exact moment I saw them with the drone.
Oh, cool.
And as I got closer, I realized I've never seen these before. I don't think I've ever seen.
One thing I always wonder, because I've watched enough of his videos, and it's like there's Native American stuff all over the place in these areas, and nothing else seems like is going on to even try to preserve it. I just wonder why that is. I don't know. Maybe it's the same way in Europe with all the other stuff. We have all this stuff out there that's rotting away, but it's just sometimes it seems like such a waste. I just wonder if it's like Native Americans having a problem with it or whatever. But yeah, he finds a lot of stuff, and it's just falling apart, rotting away. This stuff will probably disappear in 100 years. Maybe I'm wrong, but it would be nice if these were preserved.
Seen any of these in any website publication anywhere. As I was looking close, I realized that I saw two different cultures here. At least these are my thoughts, right? The ancestral Puebloans and also maybe the Paiutes. Because when I was working at Zion as a bus driver, I saw a couple sites of Paiute petroglyphs and pictographs. And these had some similar styles.
Interesting.
But I have also seen some styles of the ancestral Puebloans that look very familiar here. So I think there's two cultures here. And the craziest thing is that these petroglyphs are so high up from the valley floor. Like, I'm talking maybe 350 feet. But I am just so shocked that there are so many. And the thing that I found the most interesting is that there is only rock art there. Why aren't there any ruins of any kind? I'm gonna have to review the footage, because as I was looking, I just didn't see anything, any signs of any sort of rock, anything. So maybe they're destroyed or whatever. But the best part is, and that made me so happy, these are not vandalized. These are not.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's like a lot of times when he's going around, and there is a lot of vandalism that with these. I don't know how people can be so disrespectful of the past and of other people's culture.
They're not like a bunch of random names on there carved up there. These are just petroglyphs without the vandalism. That made me so happy to see.
Here are some of my ideas on this panel. Could this be a depiction of corn? What do these squares with circles mean? Certainly looks like a train or buses to our modern eyes. There are some other symbols and shapes here that are very interesting. On this other panel, this is fascinating how this anthropomorph is painted in white. And this one here has a zigzag line connecting to this being here, and then it continues on in circles to this other being with 3 lines on its head. What could that possibly mean?
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
That's my favorite part about the rock art, is that we will never know what any of this means.
And I was flying along, I kept finding more and more. Very strange symbols, very strange markings.
Aliens!
And of course we cannot decipher, interpret these petroglyphs. The context, the people that made them, their ideas, their thoughts, their beliefs, we just don't have it. And so we don't know. We're left to just kind of infer anything that we can. And it'd be wrong of us to say this is what this means. But we can say what these are, what they look like. There are anthropomorphs, bighorn sheep, zoomorphs.
Yeah, I saw one of them. That's one thing about the cave art. It's actually very, for being so simple, it's very beautiful.
So I was flying my drone around this part, and I kept thinking there was rock art around every corner, which was kind of true. I kind of find these really clear outcroppings. And there's something right there. And I saw these. I thought they were so interesting. Looks like a couple of anthropomorphs with some type of footprint or something. And these other figures.
That's his dog.
But then around the corner, I saw these zigzags and then this concentric circle right here about the middle right of the screen. And there's more stuff on the left, like these little circles connected. This little canyon. This little flat canyon, doesn't go anywhere. Thought it was so interesting that these would be right here. And then I saw something higher up, this zigzag.
Okay.
So what else did I see? So I thought that was it, but then I just kind of followed at that same elevation with the drone and just flew all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and I saw more stuff.
This panel is one of my favorites. There's just so much going on here, so many unique things. I was zooming in, I didn't know where to begin. There are some spirals, concentric circles, anthropomorphs, and there's
Is that a
something else
zipper?
really exciting that I'm going to bring out here in a second with the software that I have. Down here there's this person that seems to be stuck between two poles, or between, cliffs, or climbing up, or what. It's just so interesting. And then these people climbing up. Looks like they're in motion. Does it look like they're climbing up this mountain?
That stuff is just slowly disappearing.
And I saw more stuff. More anthropomorphs, more zoomorphs, more symbols, spirals in really odd locations. Odd to me, but of course the ancients knew what they were doing. One spiral was way high up, like all these petroglyphs were down below, and then the spiral was at the very top. So very interesting. It just kept going and going, and they were all up on these cliffs. Again, no ruins, no structures of any kind, just lots of petroglyphs.
This panel is very interesting to me. There's a lot going on, lots of symbols and things, but look at this figure right in the middle of the panel with its arms outstretched, and its, what I think, fingers pointing down. Why do you think its arms are outstretched like that? And to be honest, I haven't really seen that in other locations. And I was looking around and I saw the spiral about the middle left that I'll zoom into a little bit later. Then nearby it, just on the left, there's this little panel. Zoom out too far. Just these little figures, what I think are coyotes and things. And then you can see that
there it is.
spiral right in the middle of the screen. Very faint. Why is it right at the top?
And we will never know why some were chosen to be pecked and carved and others were chosen to be painted. But I love the variety of these. And again, it makes me so happy. Like, I filled up with so much joy just thinking about how there's no vandalism. I didn't see anybody's carved name up there. Nothing like Becky Loves John 2015. Nothing like that, which just made it all the more special for me. It really makes me wonder what kind of place this was. Was it a hunting area? Was it like a spiritual place where you had to make this big climb up to this particular spot? And, there's these petroglyphs there to guide you to something, some kind of ceremony or religious significance. I don't know. There are some bighorn sheep, but not as much as I would think, because in some of the locations where I know there are bighorn sheep, there are just tons of petroglyphs of bighorn sheep. There wasn't as much as I thought. It was more symbols and...
I don't even know what to say. Yeah, look at that. Like I said, there's his dog. Right there. It's well hung.
Zigzags and spirals, anthropomorphs, really interesting figures. I'm not sure why they're so high up, because there's rocks way down below in the valley here that could be easily carved. But these, you'd have to hike up to see them. I want to know your ideas on why do you think they were so high up. You can't see them from down below. They're literally like 350 feet above where I was at. I think one of the best things for me when I see a site like this is to imagine what life was like back then. We can't use presentism, and think of all of our current morals, beliefs, systems, everything to judge the past.
Although people do,
at least in rock art form,
to judge.
We just don't know. So I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, and I think this is a special place. I think that's what this means. And you might be saying, well, Jeff, like every petroglyph site is special. That's true. I believe that. But I'm wondering why they're so high up there, and what the purpose of that would be. Because I've seen some, especially in the Four Corners.
They're also, I mean, if we could go back in time, we might find out that this isn't as special as they think it is. It might just end up being, the ancient Native Americans form of graffiti, because everybody, like when I was, where I used to live, we had some outcropping of rocks and whatnot, and people would always go and do graffiti on those rocks. Maybe this is the Native American version of that. You never know. Maybe none of this means anything. Maybe it's just somebody's going, yeah, this is my gang. Or maybe some of this is, Rebecca loves Bob. Just just in their way, ancient way of doing it.
Corners where they're high up next to a river. So if you're going down the river, you can see these petroglyphs. Or you're going through a wash or some kind of creek bed, and there's petroglyphs along this creek. So it's like you would see them as you're traveling around. But these are so high up, even if you were, traveling down along the base of these cliffs, you probably wouldn't see them. I didn't. And so I wonder how they would know. Is there some petroglyphs down in some of these boulders where they can interpret these symbols and know that there's something way high up, like some spiritual journey or something, right? These are just my thoughts. I have no idea.
Ooh, nice.
But these are very mysterious. There's some petroglyphs that I'm like, what does that mean? What could that possibly mean? Especially that anthropomorph, that human-like figure with his arms stretched out. And there's petroglyphs and other people or beings below them. And the other one that's kind of sandwiched between those poles or lines or cliffs, that's very interesting to me too. But that's the nature of my channel, genuine exploration. We're trying to learn more about these people, trying to make a connection with the past so we can preserve it for the future. And so that's kind of what I hope to instill in this year, 2025, is continue on with that respect, continue on with learning and understanding, start off the year with real ancient fireworks. And I think that's what I just needed. Just what I needed. And I hope it's what you needed too, to start off your year right with something completely brand new. I'm so happy you're here, part of my channel, that I can share these things with you. It brings me so much joy to share it with you all. And I hope, we're learning all this together. We're discovering this all together. I hope you enjoy this adventure. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
Now, let's see here. What now? Let's see. What's going on? This dog. What?
Are we on? If you're seeing this, Oliver, it means I'm gone. We knew this time would come. Just remember that no matter how far, that I will always love you. And I'll be back in 30 minutes. I just had to run to the store. Please do not panic. I'll be right back. Hey, buddy, I'm back. Oliver? What the?
What you did? It's ready. Hope this goal was worth it. How does it feel? Let's see here. What do we got? Over Bowser. Straight out of Kid trick. That's a 1-2 up to the house. Off to carry. Try to get him. Hey, that's wrong. Oh man, that's to do some bath, medical care, food, and that happened to the guy. She can. Well, I am Rusty Hopper, sponsoring and how he finds another gun. If I did not make it on, this bad side. Hopefully he finds his forever home. They keep Optimus Prime away from him.
You transformed.
So cute. And let's see. Do we want to watch anything else? Very popular ending in 3 chapters. Oh, can you the ending, huh? I gotta catch up with Coney. I'm like 100 chapters behind at this point. Wild Birds, Fuji. Well, let's do that. We haven't done Slaptown yet, so let's do Slaptown.
How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slaptown. Do you love spooky videos? Then you're about to see some seriously unhinged content. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more freaky content just like this.
Alright, let's go! Slap that hand.
Instagram user Isis the God Is has been gaining attention for her series of videos demonstrating what she claims to be the ability to manipulate wind and energy through chi.
Oh my god. Really? Okay, let's see.
Known for her poetic and spiritual posts, Isis's content has sparked intrigue, with some followers dubbing her a modern-day airbender. In her videos, Isis is seen interacting with nature in ways that appear extraordinary.
Waterbending. Oh wow.
Trees sway violently and objects move as if responding directly to her gestures.
I mean, she totally doesn't just...
Watch what she appears to do in this clip.
That things that make things interesting.
The wind does indeed pick up, and the gate swings open.
Probably bad. What's more like, she's taking it or she's controlled it?
She attributes these phenomena to her mastery of Qi, a concept rooted in Eastern traditions that refers to life force energy. Here's another example.
Okay. People fall for this stuff.
Example here.
Hey, remember what I said? There it is.
In one of her captions, Isis claims to recall past lives as an oracle and airbender. She describes a deep connection to nature, even recounting sensations of flying and controlling the air. While some viewers are awestruck, others remain skeptical, pointing out that wind manipulation could be coincidental or enhanced through clever editing. Still, the conversation has fueled curiosity about the possibilities of Qi and its connection to natural forces.
Sure. I think some people believe that.
With UFO and UAP sightings on the rise and a wild wave of drone activity over the eastern United States, public fascination with the unknown seems to be at an all-time high. Amid this frenzy, podcast host Joe Rogan added fuel to the fire by sharing a curious UFO clip that's left viewers debating its origin. Take a look.
Look at it. Look at it. Look at it on the camera.
The origin's Mars, of course.
It's like a dome.
That's a UFO.
Quiet.
What the?
As they discuss the strange sight, this suddenly happens.
Look how the light's going off in two sides.
Look, it's moving. Look at the lights are moving around it. What the? Yeah, it's hovering.
Oh my god, I see that.
Look, it's going up. It's taking off. No way.
What the?
It just went out to space.
What?
It just went out to space.
What the?
It just went out to space.
What the?
Holy.
The rapid movement and abrupt vanishing of the object has left viewers stunned and eager for answers. In his post, Rogan commented, "I don't know what this is, but I want to believe," echoing sentiments of many who are captivated by the possibility of extraterrestrial life. His post quickly gained traction, sparking a wave of speculation in the comments. Among the theories circulating online, one of the most prominent is the suggestion that this sighting could be linked to Project Bluebeam. This controversial conspiracy theory alleges that governments might use advanced holographic technology to simulate alien invasions or religious events for mass manipulation. While widely dismissed by
my brother, the nut job who showed up right before Christmas, he used to say that the government has like these floating machines in the sky that not satellites, just so they're not in orbit, it's just in the sky, and it's like where you could never understand, could never really explain how nobody could ever see them or anything about them. It's like, but yeah, that was one of his things he'd talk about. Like, where do you get this stuff from?
By experts, the theory
and it's not like planes; they would just be like hovering in the sky somewhere. And it's like, what? Okay.
remains a popular explanation for unexplained aerial phenomena among certain groups. As UFO sightings and mysterious aerial phenomena continue to dominate headlines, the call for transparency and potential disclosure grows louder. Whether this clip represents advanced technology, extraterrestrial visitors, or something else entirely.
Maybe we'll find out soon. Trump is saying he's gonna have all that, ask about it and release all that stuff. I don't believe that will happen, but it'd be cool if it did.
It has undeniably added to the growing intrigue surrounding the skies above.
Look at the lights are moving around it. What the?
Yeah. It's hovering.
Oh my god, I see that.
Look, it's going up. It's taking off. No way.
What the?
It just went out to
What
space.
the? What
It just went out to space.
What the?
It just went out to space.
Oh my god.
Instagram user Ghost Inspector Greg has shared an eerie audio recording of airline pilots reporting strange lights in the sky during a flight from Louisville, Kentucky to Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. The audio, captured during communication with Airbase Control, details a peculiar sighting that's left many puzzled.
Center Envoy 3413, got a question. Go ahead. You know if the river's MOA is hot, you got anybody messing around over there?
What?
It is cold. Well, I was curious why you asked. It's going to sound a little weird, but we keep asking about the MOAs we keep passing because we're following these two kind of lights that are up above us that are kind of jogging back and forth left and right for the past like half hour.
The pilots mentioned following two lights above them moving erratically left and right for over half an hour.
It's going to sound a little weird, but we keep asking.
Just some experimental airplane trying to freak out some people on a passenger flight. That's all it is.
About the MOAs we keep passing because we're following these two kind of lights that are up above us that are kind of jogging back and forth left and right for the past like half hour.
They inquire about military operations in the area, or MOAs, but the Airbase Control confirms no such activity and no radar detection of the objects.
Go ahead. You know if the river's MOA is hot, you got anybody messing around over there? It is cold. Well, I was curious why you asked. It's going to sound a little weird, but we keep asking about the MOAs we keep passing because we're following these two kind of lights that are up above us. Really? Yeah, I don't see anything on radar, and no, river's just not active. Cool, thanks.
The pilots note that they've been observing the lights for over an hour.
Yeah, 1757, we've been watching them for about an hour or two in the northwest skies. They were really weak as well. Oh. Way up high? Split positions, they actually moved. It's the first time I've seen them change relative positions.
When asked about their altitude, the pilots estimate the lights to be about 100 miles out in space.
Sorry, Block, you say they're close in to you or they're up high? Oh, I'd put them about 100 miles out in space. Gotcha. Agreed.
The lights described as hovering and shifting positions has sparked theories ranging from advanced drones to extraterrestrial activity. The pilot's estimation of the lights being 100 miles out in space has intrigued UFO enthusiasts, adding to the ongoing discussions about unexplained aerial phenomena.
Yeah.
This incident joins a growing number of similar sightings reported by pilots and aviation personnel worldwide.
I'm sorry, but those little balls, almost the way they're moving, look more like, balloons tangled together than anything else. But then again, we're talking about an airliner. I don't think balloons go high enough. The average balloon, I don't think goes high enough for something in a airliner to see them like that. Oh, I do wonder how high up balloons will go. Just some kid's balloon that they let go. Maybe one day I'll have to look that up.
Wide. Despite advancements in technology, many of these events remain unexplained. So what do you think these pilots saw? Love to hear your theories in the comments down below.
It's going to sound a little weird, but we keep asking about the MOAs we keep passing because we're following these two kind of lights that are up above us that are kind of jogging back and forth left and right for the past like half hour.
A mysterious thick fog has blanketed parts of the United States, leaving residents puzzled and uneasy. Accompanied by a burning chemical smell, this phenomenon has triggered a wave of speculation and health concerns. Reports of respiratory symptoms, feverish feelings, and irritation have emerged, with many questioning the fog's origin and potential dangers.
Oh boy, they're going to make a new fog movie, and it's going to be based on this. Just do it. They're going to do it.
This eerie event follows the December drone saga in New Jersey, which fueled conspiracy theories about potential disasters. The strange fog has now added another layer of mystery, with videos circulating on social media showing white particles swirling and falling amid.
I wonder if there's any chemical releases that we don't know about, because that's not natural. That's not natural.
Haze. States under fog alert include Texas, Wisconsin, Iowa, Florida, Minnesota, Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, Nebraska, Kansas, North Dakota, and Oklahoma. Some have drawn parallels to a similar event last year when a dense...
Yeah, if I saw something like that, I think I would do what you're supposed to do when there's a chemical release in your area and you're told to shelter in place. Start putting, blankets, rolled up blankets on your door. Kind of just seal yourself in to your house so that shit can't get in there.
Fog affected over 70 million people. Social media platforms have become a hub for theories and footage of the fog. Instagrammer Gubba Homestead shared her thoughts linking the phenomena to larger conspiracies.
And some people who have been exposed to the fog are falling ill with the same illness of inflamed sinuses, can't sleep, loss of appetite, and people think this is just a normal cold and flu and has nothing to do with this abnormal fog? Okay.
I live by the ocean, so we get fog a lot, and when it stinks, it's just because of the ocean. Ocean sometimes really stinks.
While TikTok user The Mirror 2023 uploaded haunting videos of the fog enveloping their surroundings.
Los Angeles, fog? No, that's smog.
Here's some more footage from user Internet27.
That's just not natural.
Another Instagram user, Do Not Comply, added to the growing collection of unsettling footage.
Yeah, it doesn't look like fog at all. It's like shit floating in the air.
Interestingly, similar accounts have surfaced in parts of the UK and Canada, fueling theories of a global issue. While official explanations remain elusive, concerned citizens and online communities are left to speculate whether this could be tied.
The way government likes to lie and to us. I wouldn't be surprised if these are like, chemical spills that go that are in the air and just don't want to tell us because they can't do anything about it.
To environmental factors, a chemical event, or something more ominous. As the fog lingers, questions remain. What's causing this mysterious phenomenon, and could it be linked to recent drone sightings or other unexplained events?
No.
For now, the truth remains shrouded in the mist.
Keep going. On to the next one.
A haunting image taken at Lake Auburn, Maine in 2020 has reignited debates about the paranormal. The photograph, captured by Stephanie Renaud, features her boyfriend, Christopher Lafassieur, and their daughter sitting on a bench at the north end of the lake. While the family claims they were alone at the time, a faint image of a woman's face appears in the top left corner of the photo.
Looks like they have a photo bomber.
What makes the image particularly eerie is its striking resemblance to Jessica Gallant, a young woman whose body was recovered from a nearby pond back in 2018.
Oh my god. That thing's so blurry. It could be anybody. I have long hair and a big nose. That could be me.
Upon seeing the photo, Jennifer Gallant, Jessica's mother, confirmed the similarity to her daughter, further adding to the mystery.
It's too blurry. It could be anybody. You're just seeing what you want to see. Come on.
The photo, originally shared on Facebook on September 7, 2020, quickly gained attention. In the comments, Stephanie Renaud and Christopher appeared sincere in their claims, maintaining that no one else was present during the photo's capture. They later exchanged messages with Jennifer Gallant, who expressed her belief that the image bore an uncanny resemblance to Jessica. Whether the face in the photo was a spectral presence or a coincidence, it's a chilling reminder of Jessica Gallant's life and untimely passing. So what do you think? Is this a ghostly apparition or simply a trick of the light?
Well, it's something, but it's not that girl.
It wasn't a helicopter, and it wasn't a balloon, and it was so near.
In August 1974, John Lennon, the legendary member of the Beatles, reported an extraordinary encounter with a UFO while in New York City.
Over here, up there, I saw a UFO, and it went down the river, turned right at the United Nations, turned left, and then down the river.
The incident occurred during a tumultuous period in Lennon's life.
I don't blame it for turning left away from the United Nations.
Often referred to as his lost weekend, when he was separated from Yoko Ono and living with May Pang. Lennon described seeing a round object with a dark or grey centre surrounded by blinking white lights.
Silent, and it looked dark, like black or grey in the middle, and had white lights, just looked like light bulbs, just going off, on, off.
Well, considering that the Beatles' use of LSD is well known, I don't know if he was sober at this time because I don't know a lot about John Lennon, but let's just, you do have to put that out there that they loved the Beatles loved their LSD.
Off, on, blink, 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 round the bottom, and on top was a red light.
The object reportedly flew past his apartment window on a warm summer evening, close enough that Lennon felt like he could have thrown something at it.
It wasn't a helicopter, and it wasn't a balloon, and it was so near.
And you look what sort of round, white, luminescent?
Despite its proximity, the object was completely silent, a detail Lennon found particularly striking given the audible sounds of the traffic below. Attempting to document the sighting, Lennon used 2 different cameras to take photos of the UFO, but none of the images developed successfully. He also contacted the local police, who reportedly confirmed receiving similar calls about unusual lights in the sky that very evening. The experience left a lasting impression on Lennon, who mentioned it in the liner notes of his album Walls and Bridges. The note commemorates the sighting and marks it as occurring on August 23, 1974 at 9 p.m. While skeptics point to Lennon's lifestyle during that period, he insisted he was sober at the time of the event. The sighting...
Well, that answers my question. No, he was. He was during his drug binging news. But, yeah. Says he was sober. Okay, sure. Could have been a flashback.
Continues to intrigue UFO enthusiasts and Beatles fans alike, adding another layer of mystery to Lennon's fascinating life.
And silent.
Silent, and it looked dark, like black or grey in the middle, and had white lights, just looked like light bulbs, you know? Just going off, on, blink, 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 round the bottom, and on top was a red light.
Coming up in our last segment in just a few seconds, we take a look at some wild footage that suggests John Lennon never died. But before we do, remember to hit that subscribe button, tickle that little bell icon there, and turn on all channel notifications. Also, leave us some comments down below, hit that thumbs up button. The more you interact with our channel, the more you'll see us in your feed.
No brain. That's from a movie.
Sticking with John Lennon, in a strange twist, TikTok user Paolo TikTok has brought attention to a new piece of footage that's left social media buzzing. The clip shows Paul McCartney leaving a hotel, but it's the background that has captivated viewers. Take a look.
Paul McCartney and John Lennon really didn't like each other.
An older gentleman bearing an uncanny resemblance to what John Lennon might look like today can be seen walking in the distance. The sighting has sparked a frenzy of conspiracy theories, with some suggesting the possibility that Lennon faked his death and has been living in secret.
Wow.
Others, however, are more skeptical, chalking it up to a coincidence or a lookalike who happened to be in the right place at the right time. This isn't the first time fans have speculated about Lennon's posthumous appearances. From alleged sightings to mysterious audio recordings, the legend of John Lennon seems to transcend time and space. Could this be?
You know, there was this one time where I think saw some guy who coming out of a Hastings that looked like Chris Farley. Did that mean I saw Chris Farley? Probably not. I'm pretty sure he wasn't any place where I was.
Be a case of mistaken identity, or is there something more to the story here? Love to hear your take on this sighting in the comments down below. Sticking with the Beatles theme, we took a deep dive on a fascinating conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney died back in the 1960s.
Should have known.
In the annals of rock and roll lore, few tales match the eerie and enduring enigma of the Paul is dead conspiracy. It's a story that's persisted for over half a century, woven into the fabric of one of the most iconic bands in history, the Beatles. This legend posits a chilling scenario. Paul McCartney, the charismatic bassist and co-lead vocalist of the Beatles, died in 1966 and was replaced by a lookalike.
If you want to get the full scoop on this fascinating story, we'll put some links to the episode in the description box down below there, and it's also pinned in the comments.
Doesn't seem to hold on. Doesn't really hold on. They try to claim that after that, the guy who was supposedly
now, if you want to watch some more,
doesn't quite look like Paul McCartney. Ooh. Ooh. Do we want to do anything else? Anything else? Anything that catches my eye? Hey, let's see. Do I have anything in my watch later that I'm going to do? That I always was intending to do but never did? I don't remember. I'm so used to using an app to look at this. But, oh, there it is. Well, I've already watched. I think I've done those. Maybe they just kind of say because I'm a goof. Let's go hug more Ojo Sama. Ojo Sama! Next up, where is it? Where is it? Pantheon. That's not Pantheon. I don't know when he said that. There we go. Let's see. Let's get another laugh. Oh! I can't believe there's a channel dedicated. Let's see. Last time I posted was a year ago. Let's not have had a good Ojo comment recently. Ah. 24 seconds. Wow. Honestly, the face. Girl from Fate is much better. Let's see, where's a good one? Where's a good one? Let's see. Nah, it's not good. And that's a maid doing it. It's just not right. It's just not right. A maid shouldn't have an Ojo-sama. Let's see here. Let's see here. That's not very good. Come on, what's this one? That's not bad. Hey, what is this from? Stray Cat Ojo Sama. Cool. Alright, let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything else there, but let's do a quick look. Maybe one more. Maybe. Oh, jeez. Oh, there it is. Description. Cool. And I probably should be looking for more videos that I can watch. And subscribe to those channels. Let's see what Red Green has to say. And I am not sure, but I do like Red Green.
You know what really Frenches my fries? Borrowing somebody's car and then finding out it doesn't even have power steering. I mean, driving's supposed to be pleasant and relaxing. I wanted to work out.
Someone else's car? What?
Well, I wouldn't want to work out. Don't panic. There's always a better way. Get yourself one of these heavy-duty steering wheel covers here. Make it an extra large. You can get these off a bus while the driver's in the men's room. We're going to put that over the steering wheel itself, but you need it extra big.
That's the one thing about this show. Is always this crazy stuff that never works. Well, would never work. Sometimes it kind of works in the show.
We're going to power it with this cordless drill. Okay, the key.
And remember, if she doesn't find you handsome, she might as well find you handy. That's probably not how he says it.
Key here is the ratio between the diameter of the steering wheel and the size of the pulley that's going into the chuck of the drill. I figure 500 to 1 is the correct ratio. So
500 to 1.
The steering wheel is 70 inches. All we have to do is divide that by 500. You know, mathematical formulas may be fine for some people, but I prefer trial and error, even though it sometimes leads to trial by fire and occasionally trial by jury. And all I did was try a whole bunch of different things, stuck them into the chuck of the drill. For example, tried a baby carriage wheel, too big. Went with a screw nail, too small. What I am going with is a gherkin pickle. This baby works like a charm. Check this out. What's that, you say? What if I want to turn the other way? Well, hey, this is a reversing drill.
Give me a break. That's funny. Alright, let's see here. Is there anything else? I don't have. What's the stuff I subscribe to on this channel wouldn't really work. Chibi reviews have been posting a lot. Ooh, Gremlins, huh? I think we're done. Natsuki. What? Okay, I gotta see this. What?
Their VAs are married, the offers are friends. Their fan base.
What?
It's so true. So if you haven't heard the news, quite the bombshell has happened in the last 24 hours. The voice actors of Subaru, Natsuki Subaru from ReZero, and the voice actor of Rudis Greyrat from Mushoku Tensei has officially married. And there could not be any more cosmic irony than this. And let me explain. This meme alone really just perfectly describes it. But for years upon years at this point, the fan bases of Mushoku Tensei and ReZero are at war with each other. They absolutely hate each other, which is wild because I love both series. They're great, and they're great in their own different ways. Very similar, but also very different. And I will say that I appreciate the stories for their own reasons. There's many reasons why. Like, for instance, I love the character building of, ReZero a lot more than Mushoku Tensei. But Mushoku Tensei has, I'm going to be honest, an amazing world. The world building is incredible. So, obviously, I'm kind of like the minority when it comes to the fan bases. But the majority, from what I've seen, loathe each other. They do not like each other whatsoever. It's rare to see someone a fan of both, because usually it's one or the other, either ReZero fan base or the Mushoku Tensei fan base going at each other, flaming each other, and hating on each other. It's like the equivalent of the big three, like for instance Bleach, Naruto, and the One Piece communities always going after each other. That's basically what it is, because obviously, ReZero and Mushoku Tensei, they're like they're like the biggest Sakai series. They reincarnated into another world series. They're like the biggest, honestly. The only other series that you can even compare to them would be, let's say, Overlord or Konosuba. So when you factor something like that in, it makes sense why there's constantly massive discussions between those two series and constant, hatred between them. But getting into the actual marriage, I find this so ironic, because despite everything with, the fan bases always at each other's throats, we have the two voice actors marrying, and I think that's what makes this so funny. And Gensho actually talks about this in this post. He talks about how ironic the marriage is as well. For instance, Subaru the voice actor Subaru is marrying Puck, aka the cat within ReZero, who is basically Amelia's father, and Rudy is marrying Rowan, who's Roxy's father, because Subaru's voice actor voiced Roxy's father. It's legitimately hilarious just how stuff like this worked out, but it's very clear these two, voice actors, they have interacted a lot, and obviously this is probably what led to their marriage, but they've had a lot of roles together, they've worked on a lot of shows together, and I'm assuming over time, a long time.
It's funny. It's something I've always found kind of funny and interesting, because, K-On! Two of the voice actors in K-On!, two of the main ones, Mio and the drummer, what's her name? I can't remember. They turn around and they are two of the characters in Setokai Yaku no Domo, and Dirty Jokes, the anime. So it's they're kind of total opposite ends of things. There's this very cute, family-friendly anime, and then you have this sex of two characters who are basically obsessed with sex and sex jokes and whatnot.
Time spending time together, probably voicing, in shows together, they built a bond, and that's exactly what happened. It's legitimately just funny, because, I wouldn't say the Mushoku Tensei in the ReZero community is the most toxic in terms of fandom wars, but in terms of, like, fantasy isekai, definitely up there. 100%.
You know who's most toxic? The My Hero Academia people. Those guys are fucking idiots. Oh my god. I've never seen a worse fandom. I mean, I've never seen anybody love to hate the creator of the series and supposedly loves so much. That guy, I feel so sorry for that guy. I always hating on him. Ugh.
I don't think there's anyone denying that. So hopefully this causes some calm and relaxation within the communities, because, I mean, if the voice actors can straight up just marry, and then you can have, like, the offers, you know, actually are mega friends of each other, the fan base can definitely not be at war with each other. It's kind of like what you would see in the ancient days of, like, you know, historical days, where you have, like, a queen and a king forced to marry each other, like an arranged marriage, so to speak, to be able to join the households. That's kind of what happened here. You have literally two massive powerhouses marrying to basically join their households together to create unity and no more strife and war. Hopefully that happens. I would love to see it. But getting into the main thing, it's so funny. I saw this, I couldn't help but laugh. There's actually a meme I'm going to show you that is very relevant to this. So this image was...
Oh, God.
This image has never been more relevant, ever. It has never been more relevant than this moment because of just what has happened. And I find this
Why is Cosma crying?
hilarious.
What does he care?
Oh, what a way to end 2024. I cannot believe this is how 2024 ends. We have literally Rudy and Subaru's voice actors marrying. It is a special day. It is a very special day in the anime community.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that, though. Happy New Year's, everybody. I love ya. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.
Chibi chibi. All right. Well, I think we'll call it that here tonight. One of the things I was going to do tonight, but I kind of got into is I was going to rant about the whole situation about what I posted on Twitter about the toxic VTuber community. And I think I'm actually kind of thinking better of it because I think I kind of made my feelings kind of clear enough about it already. It's just, I just get so frustrated sometimes when you look online and people are, you know, other VTubers are harassing other VTubers and trying to call them racist, transphobes, and things like that. And just, you know, here they are saying, "What did I do? What did I do?" I mean, I don't think the VTuber community made any of this. But anyway, I'm not going to get back on that. I don't want to do that rant. I said what I said, and I suppose that's enough. Anyway, hopefully, I'm going to try getting a schedule together soon and figuring out what I want to do in the streams. I think I might start doing like 3 times a week. So I don't, especially now that I'm probably going to start doing overtime again. I picked the perfect time to start streaming again, especially when I'm about to start doing overtime again. And one of the reasons why I ended up getting burned out a little bit is because of the overtime I was doing and I'm still trying to stream. But, so I might cut down a little bit. Not that it probably won't matter all that much, but maybe 3 times a week, maybe thinking that I'll probably do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? I'm not really sure. We'll see. It's a little bit different than what I was doing before, which was Tuesday and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I don't know. And I still have to figure out what games I want to play. I'll probably get back to Mass Effect, Halo 2, and I don't know if I want to get back to the Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. To be honest, I kind of like Doom 2. I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, maybe I just went from 1 to the other a little bit too quickly, but I don't know. It's maybe something I'll probably get back to later. But just gotta figure out. I think I have an idea. But there's also a bunch of other games that I've started in previous when I first started streaming that I haven't even finished, like Bayonetta. What else was there? There's been a few. I might have to go look through and see what I've started and not finished because there's a shit ton of that. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll just play the games I was playing back in December. But we'll see. I just gotta figure out what I want to do. A new year. Maybe I'll just figure it's a new year with all new games. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully I will see you live next time. And I hope you have a great day, great weekend, great night.